Good morning. We are the Life Motivators. We come in here today on this Remembrance Day of 11/11, Memorial Day, for all the veterans who have served and are serving, those who have served the ultimate price, and those that are still fighting with inside of their own heads for the things that they had to go through and see and do throughout that time frame. And everybody that has something that they're going through, we want to let you know that you're not alone. We're here with you on a day-to-day basis to bring the better understanding of the happiness that you have within inside, the better knowledge that you have of you, and that you don't have to be alone in a darkness, in a place there you feel like you're alone. We're here each day to bring you inspiration, knowledge, love, joy, a frequency level of something that you may not have ever understood. We cannot connect with that 96.1 love joy if we're thinking of self-doubt and misery and keep seeing the visions of what we had within our life. What do you truly want to see within your life is what I'm going to ask you to start looking for. What is the more happy that you want to bring into you? And that's what I want you to focus on today. We have lost many, and we're understanding each day that that hurts us. Yes. But as we remember those today, we remember in the good times, remembering the happy things that they brought into our life, the things and talents that they had within them that brought more into our life. So today, we're going to give a moment of silence. So when we finish this today, when we get off of this recording, we want everybody to take 1 minute and give a prayer of those that we have lost, because those are the ones that touch our hearts the most, because they have one that have given the ultimate sacrifice for us to be able to have the freedoms to be able to be here today on this Zoom. Myself and Brother Ricky, I know for sure, have seen and done and been many places that we truly didn't want to go, or things that we didn't want to do, but yet we were guided by a government. And today we are thankful that we are here to be able to spread this message of love to everyone today, and the support that y'all are giving to the worldwide community of all the veterans that have served in every armed forces, no matter what country that you're from, because you did it for a reason. You did it for the love of the freedom that you have. You did it for the love of your family, so they would not have to ever see the turmoil that some of the third world countries see on a day-to-day basis. So we want to honor them all, and we thank them all on a day-to-day basis. We talk about frequencies and love on a day-to-day basis, because if I would not have surrounded myself with people of like mind, if I would not have surrounded myself with people who brought me out of the darkness, then I would still be the one that's fighting that PTSD. Yes, I work through this every day. I work through my darkness every day, but I wake up with the sunshine in my life, no matter if it's cloudy. I wake up with the love within my heart, because I know that I have people that surround me to support me on a day-to-day basis to keep me from going back to that darkness. Because I have aligned my frequencies to the right alignment to know what I have done within my life, that I have been forgiven. There's been one that paid the ultimate sacrifice for all of us, and I am connected with him. And I am thankful each day that I have people like Brother Julio that have brought me to a different place by the conversations that we've had one-on-one, as he's assisted me out of my darkness. And I thank him every day. And I thank each person that I see on the screen that is coming within here to support this community, to help others that are going through things, because that's what we are. We are a community of love and support. Go ahead, Brother Julio.
I think you hit on an important topic. I don't care who you are or what you've experienced in life. It's important to acknowledge and connect with something greater than ourselves. You know, because we all go through times of difficulty. We all go through times of difficult experiences, of trials, tribulations, depression, darkness, traumatic situations. You know, Thomas, I already, I know you a little bit better than most, so you just being transparent and experiencing, and going through experiences of dealing with PTSD, and I appreciate your transparency in that. I have a lot of friends that deal with that aspect too, but like I said, it's important to come to a humble place of drawing from something greater than any of us. You know, we don't push our beliefs upon anybody. All we do is express our personal beliefs and our personal experiences. And in that, sometimes that's where our strength is. That's where our peace is. That's where our sanity, is. That's where the calming of our heart, the calming of our spirit can be when we feel like all hell is breaking loose, or we don't see light at the end of the tunnel, or light in our personal situations. You know, difficulty is bound to come to all of our doorsteps in one way, shape, fashion, or form. Whether it be a relationship of love, and this person broke my heart, or my parents weren't there for me, I was abandoned as a child, or you know anybody who happens to have, maybe they didn't have that relationship with their dad, so labeled as daddy issues or whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of, people slipping into darkness because of living a life that was kind of crazy, and now they see things at a brighter perspective, but they can't just shake off the funk off of their life and get past it mentally. It's just important to acknowledge the one that's the greater than all of us, because if you were to take and each and every person, and there's not much difference between us. There's who we are as people. Our characters are different, our backgrounds, our upbringings are different, but outside of those basics, there's not much difference between all of us, man. Any one of us, we're all the same, man. We have all been created, and we all have moments of weakness. We all have moments where we feel encouraged, we feel like we can conquer, and there's times when people draw off of those energies, to say, hey, I want to be like that, or I like the way that sounds, I want some more of that, or whatever that person has right there, I want some of that. I want to be encouraged, I want to be motivated, I want to have feel equipped for my day. And those things are all great, man. They're this is what we're all going through, different aspects of life, and acknowledging who he is in all of our lives, the creator, the one who created us all. That and think of the on this day, of honoring those that have sacrificed so much for a lot of freedoms that we all share across the board. Doesn't matter if you're in Canada, the US, the globe, man. Anybody who has sacrificed anything and laid their life on the line for freedoms, that a lot of people are able to express and enjoy, and a lot of people still in the year 2019, about to be 2020, have yet to experience. If you think about that, there's still places on the world and the globe where people aren't experiencing the freedoms that we take for granted. You know, that is a blessing in itself. That's reason to be grateful this morning. That's a reason to express gratitude. That's a reason to love one another. That's a reason to be there to comfort one another, to smile at a person, to experience this day in appreciation, to experience this day with a heart full of thankfulness because of the ultimate sacrifice that was given for all, let alone the sacrifices that men have experienced and given up their lives for, and women. You know, um, I feel humbled. I feel grateful to to be called. I'm Puerto Rican, but I feel grateful to be called an American. When people ask me, what are you? I say I'm Puerto Rican American. I'm American. Say, hey, I'm Puerto Rican, because I'm proud of who I am and the country that I live in and the things that my country stands for. Don't get me wrong. I mean, people are going to be people, government's going to be government, and we don't always agree on every topic, on every political front, every religious front, or any other things that can divide us. But one thing we all can agree on, that there is a creator who deserves glory and honor for giving people strength, for giving people power, authority, life, sacrifice. you know, the abilities and the capabilities that we have, that we enjoy. You know, I mean, even the freedom of something like this, like a cell phone, you know, or the internet, Facebook. There's countries that limit Facebook usage. They limit social media usage because they say, hey, you know, we don't want them socializing with the public, because they fear that their own people will get a freedom mentality, will think that they can actually step out of something that's dark. Go ahead, Thomas.
And they also monitor what they put out. You may have freedom to be able to put it at that time frame, but what I have seen in my own eyes is they monitor what goes on the TV. They monitor what you put out on social media. So that is not true freedom.
No.
Remember
Have
that.
somebody
Be
knocking at your
blessed.
door, talking about, we seen you on Facebook, you posted such and such and such and such. Our government, our system don't approve of what you posted, or don't approve of what you shared. You know, we want to ask you questions, kind of stuff. I mean, this kind of stuff is still going on in the world, man.
How many of y'all have electricity 24 hours a day? Do you say thank you for it? How many of you have water flowing into your house 24 hours a day? Do you say thank you for it? I have been to countries where they had 2 hours of electricity a day. They had to go to a water station to get 4 jugs of water is all they could get a day. And I'm sure Roger and Karola can contest to a lot of that through the countries that they have been traveling through and they come from as well.
And then they got to travel miles and miles in order to even get the water. It's not like it's easily accessible in their backyard. Yeah. Yeah. These are realities. Yeah.
Pass this on to Roger just for a second. Roger had something he wanted to bring up about that.
Go ahead, Roger. Talk to us, man.
It's the same in Dominican Republic. They have 8 hours to have power and then 8 hours off, and the water depends on the power, so they have no water in that time either.
So there's different places that a lot of people, you take it for granted because you've always had it since the day you were born. There's a lot of freedoms of this social media. There's a lot of freedoms of things that we have, grocery stores that we can just run to go pick up some meat and some groceries. 72 hours without power during a hurricane, there's no trucks coming to a grocery store. So every tragedy brings something within your heart and in your life that you have to be very thankful for. And today, we're thankful for all of it. Every single human being that is sacrifices, every truck driver that brings the food, every person that is there managing the buildings to make sure that people have their heat during this cold storms, everybody that has their water, their pipes aren't frozen. Thank every municipality, because a lot of those people may have learned through the military how to keep those in operation. Because when we went over to Iraq, there was no water. We had to drill our own wells. We had to do reverse osmosis. We had to do whatever we had to do to get us water for our own military. Run generators to have our own power. Things that we had amenities for in America and other countries you may not. So a day of gratitude, not just for our military services today, but everything that we have that keeps us comfortable. The choices that we have within this world is what has been given to you. And the choice of gratitude is a big one that we want to push within here today. I am thankful for each and every individual, each person that walks on this earth. Even if I do not know them, I will pass them with a smile. Every person that I was able to walk on this beach with yesterday, to connect with, it started out with a hello, how are you today? And a smile. That brought joy to my heart because the conversations that strummed up after that brought so much more into my life. One old man was telling me about material things, and him and his wife are getting into that retirement age, and he started going through his home and saying, you know, I bought this for a project and I only used it one time, and why do I still have it? So he started downsizing the things that he had in his house that were just cluttering it, he said. And he said, now my house is a little bit more open, and people come by and say, your house is so open, it's so beautiful. Yes, we don't have it cluttered with material things that we do not need. And then he started putting just the things that we truly needed. Do I want it or do I need it attitude into his entire family. And now there are starting to align themselves and focus them with the gratitude of what they have within life. And I told that old man yesterday, I am more thankful for this conversation that we're having than anything that I have done today. Because the conversation that we were talking about, it hit home, made resonation with me. And I told him, I thank you for your time. You know me as nothing but a stranger today, but we're leaving as friends. That means more to me than any material thing that I have within my life. The friendship that I have made and the bond with all of y'all within here, that brings more to my life than anything else. That brings the happiness into my life. Those that I connect with on a day-to-day basis as well in physical form, that brings more into my life than anything else of a material thing. Remember the freedoms that you have and understand why you have them. Roger, you had something else? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's not that only hurricanes can break everything off, but if you have a snowstorm and you sit somewhere for 48 hours, you will realize pretty soon if there's a Tim Hortons, like a coffee store nearby, after 24 hours, they're out of everything. Then you can see how depending they do on the service of the road are closed, the trucker cannot go, they're out of order.
Yes.
There's a lot what we can thank for, because the grocery stores are all the same because they want it fresh, and that have to be delivered every morning fresh.
Definitely. Brother Julio, you got anything else?
Nothing much. Just hey, spend some time today reflecting, guys. It's a great reflection day. That's it. Think about where you're at in your life. Think about where you're at in your family. Think about where you're at in your business. Think about the direction, that you're pointed in, that you're aiming towards. Revisit those goals. Appreciate wherever you're at. Because that's where life is, man. And our perspective, that's the beauty of life. If you have the proper perspective, then you see the beauty everywhere. And if you don't, you see the lack thereof, which just means you need a perspective shift. That's all it really is. It doesn't mean that you're not blessed. It doesn't mean that you're not experiencing life in abundance. It just means that you need a perspective shift, that you need to take a break, that you need to come to the realization that there's a lot to be grateful for. There's a lot to be thankful for. Whatever your situation looks like, it doesn't really matter. Whatever that looks like, I'm pretty sure you can find some form of gratitude in the life that you're living with. I love you guys. That's it.
Love and appreciate you, brother. We have been reading the book, The Magic, for this month. And we thank everybody that has participated in reading this and bringing this to the table. We want to thank Ms. Jen for that and bringing this idea for us to be able to do this once again. We started in 2016 out with this, and it was very powerful for herself and many others along our journey. And so today, Ms. Karola will be reading chapter 9. And if you haven't got the book on the hardcover yet, then you can go to the Life Motivators community, go to the files section, and it is a PDF copy over there that you can grab. So we're going to pass this one on to you, Ms. Karola, with chapter 9.
Good morning, everybody. Day 9, the money magnet. It's only with gratitude that life becomes rich. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, Lutheran pastor. Gratitude is riches and complaint and poverty. It's the golden rule of your whole life, whether it's your health, job, relationship, or money.
It's 9 o'clock.
The more grateful you can be for the money you have, even if you don't have very much, the more riches you will receive. And the more you complain about money, the poorer you will become. Today's magical practice turns one of the biggest reasons people complain about money into an act of gratitude, and so it has double the power to change the circumstances of your money. You'll be replacing your complaint, which makes you poorer, with gratitude, which magically brings you riches. Most people wouldn't think that think they complain about money, but if there is a lack of money in their life, they are complaining without realizing it. Complaining happens through people's thoughts as well as their words, and most people aren't aware of the many thoughts in their head. Any complaining, negative, jealous, or worried thoughts or words about money are literally creating poverty. And of course, the biggest complaint comes when money has to be paid out. If you don't have enough money, paying your bills can be one of the most difficult things to do. It can seem like that there is a greater stream of bills than there is money to pay them. But if you complain about your bills, then what you are really doing is complaining about money. And complaining keeps you in poverty. If you don't have enough money, the last thing you would normally do is feel grateful for your bills. But in fact, that's actually what you have to do to receive more money in your life. To have a rich life, you must be grateful for everything you do with money. And begrudging your bills is not being grateful. You must do the exact opposite, which is to be grateful for the goods and services you received from those who built you. It is such a simple thing to do, but it will have a monumental effect on the money in your life. You will literally become a money magnet. To be grateful for a bill, think about how much you have benefit from the service or goods on the bill. If it's payment for rent or mortgage, be grateful that you have a home and you're living in it. What if the only way you could live in a home was by saving up all the money and paying cash for it? What if there was no such thing as landing institutes or places to rent? Most of us would be living on the streets, so be grateful to the landing institutes or your landlord because they have made it possible for you to live in a home or apartment. If you are paying a bill for gas or electricity, think about the heating or cooling you receive, the hot showers, and every appliance you were able to use because of the service. If you're paying a phone or internet bill, imagine how difficult your life would be if you had to travel vast distance to talk to each person individually. Think about how many times you have been able to call family and friends, send and receive emails, or access information instantly through the internet because of your service provider. All of those remarkable services are at your fingertips, so be grateful for them and be grateful that the companies trust you by providing their services before you have paid for them. Ever since I discovered the phenomenal power of gratitude, I write the magic words, "Thank you, paid," on every bill as I pay it, and I never miss a single one. At the beginning, when I didn't have the money to pay a bill, I would still use gratitude's magical power and would instead write across the bill, "Thank you for the money." Then when I had the money to pay it, I would add, "Thank you, paid." Today you are going to do the same. Take any currently unpaid bills you have and use gratitude's magical power by writing across them, "Thank you for the money," and feel grateful for having the money to pay the bill, whether you have it or not. If you receive and pay most of your bills online, then when you receive an online bill, forward it to yourself as an email and write in the subject line in capital bold letters, "Thank you for the money." Next, find the bill you have paid in the past and write across the front of each one on the magical words, "Thank you, paid." As you write on each paid bill, feel as grateful as you possibly can that you had the money to pay the bill. The more gratitude you can harness for the bills you have paid, the more money you will magically magnetize to you. From this day forward, you could make it your regularly practice that whenever you pay a bill, you briefly think about the great service you have received from the bill and write across the face of the bill the magic words, "Thank you, paid." And if you don't have the money to pay a bill, use gratitude's magical power and write, "Thank you for the money." And feel as if you are saying thank you because you have the money to pay the bill. Feeling gratitude for the money you have paid out guarantees you will receive more. Gratitude is like a magnetic golden thread attached to your money, so when you pay money out, the money always returns to you. Sometimes equally, sometimes tenfold, sometimes 100-fold. The abundance you receive back depends not on how much money you give, but on how much gratitude you give. You could have so much gratitude when you pay a bill for $50 that you could receive back hundreds of dollars. Magic practice number 9, the money magnet. 1. Count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings. Write why you're grateful. Reread your list and at the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you. And feel as grateful for the blessings as you can. 2. Take any current unpaid bill you have, use gratitude's magical power and write across each one. Thank you for the money. Feel grateful for having the money to pay the bill, whether you have it or not. 3. Take 10 bills you have paid in the past and write across the front of each one of them the magic words, "Thank you, paid." Feel truly grateful that you had the money to pay the bill. 4. Before you go to sleep, take your magnet rock in one hand and say the magic words, "Thank you for the best things that happened during the day." Blessings, everybody.
Blessings to you. Thank you for that hit home with what we're talking about today, giving gratitude. It's a beautiful day to be within here. It's a beautiful day to share these messages with you today and to share our hearts and our love. Thank you once again, Karola and Roger, for everything that y'all do within our community and within the lives of others. We're going to pass this on to Miss Shannon to wrap us up with affirmations. But today she has a more powerful message that she is going to bring out. Go ahead, Miss Shannon.
Good morning, everybody. So I am going to do a Veterans Day poem to thank a veteran. Today is the day we honor the noble and the brave, the men and the women who dedicated their lives and the sacrifices that they have made. When America had an urgent need, they were the first to raise their hand. Without thinking twice about it, they were proud to take a stand. Some came back from the war with battle scars, others in flag-draped coffins. Even though their flesh may have left, their spirits will have never been forgotten. They unselfishly and unknowingly put their lives on the line, so when you see a veteran, thank them, because without them, freedom would have died.
Without them, freedom would have died. Remember the veterans today. We love and appreciate you all. This is 11/11. Talk to y'all tomorrow.